So a couple of weeks ago, I stole from Fashion Nova, and I'd do it again. Here's a story on how I did it. I was scrolling through Instagram, and I saw this girl wearing a beautiful crochet dress, and any crocheter knows what happens next. You get I can make that idea. And so the story begins. And like any good crochet story, it started at Michael's. So I made my way over there, straight to my home, the yarn section. So these are all the colors I had to choose from. I held them together in fours because, as we can see from the photo, each square has 5 colors, with white always being one of the 5. This color coordination process actually got really confusing and overwhelming, and a fellow crocheter came up to me and told me that the brand I was looking at was really scratchy and wouldn't recommend it for a dress. So I switched over to this Lily's Sugar and Cream cotton yarn and just took 2 to 3 of each color and threw it in my basket because I just couldn't handle it anymore. So next I went home and started making squares. And at this point I have too much orange already and I'm being met with the same color problem. So here I'm trying to do the color association and basically holding it up to the camera and then basically making a square with those colors. But my real mistake was actually stitching the squares together as I worked. So I decided to troubleshoot. So now what I'm doing is just making the squares. I really like this one, it's really cute. And then I can make a grid, like lay it out and connect them after. So let's check in on how I feel about the dress at this point in time. Super confused, but equally excited. This is what we got. Do I know what I'm doing? No. This is the first time in a long time that I'm starting a project and I don't start hating it. But I don't really know how many rows I need or how many squares I need. And spoiler alert, girl, you don't find out. So basically at this point, I just keep on making squares. I do the little yarn association dance, make another square, and I wrap up a lot of yarn because when you work with a lot of colors, you'll notice that it gets tangled very easily. So you're just going to spend a lot of time of detangling and untangling the yarn. Basically, after doing that over and over, I finally had a bunch of squares with a whole bunch of different colorways, and I basically laid it down flat like this. I was trying to find an order that I liked, but it seemed like every time I liked something together, there was either too much pink beside pink or too much green beside green. Basically, you get the idea, and I think they all look great together, but still, I was a little too into the colors not matching. But as you see here, eventually I just had to get over that and start stitching everything together one by one. So this part was actually pretty fun, but you can see that I am starting to get tired. And usually whenever I get like that, that's when it's time to try on the dress. So here I'm just trying to see if I need to add more squares. Yeah, I definitely do. But I'm actually curious to see what I was thinking at this point. So let's go ahead and listen. What I'm thinking is I'm going to need 6 because there's one extra one in the corner. So 7 and then 6 should wrap around. So I went ahead and just did what I said and I made the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares. And now we're going to try and see if it worked. And lo and behold, it did not work. It is super baggy. I pulled out the seam and took off this 6 square and then basically see how to figure out how to make this dress fit. Like put this one over here. Am I supposed to have a square up here? Okay. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. Well, what I did do is go back to the drawing board and continue to make squares and stitch them together. I attempted to try it on, got frustrated, made more squares, and continued to stitch everything together. And now here's my favorite part. I decided to fold the dress in kind of like a burrito, and I feel like this was the thing that helped me really get the shape and figure out which squares had to be connected to what. And every time I stitched it together, it just wasn't working, and for the life of me, I just could not figure out what I was doing wrong. So I messed up because it should be like bam, bam, and then another one here. I don't know which one was the mess up. So I had to lay it down flat to try and find the culprit. So this one should have never been added. Here is where I just unraveled. So I'm just gonna close off this edging right here and take this one off. So I think I'm done. You think you're what? At this point, I still needed to add fringe and straps, but technically I was done because I was over it. So let's try it on and get first impressions. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. In a long time that I'm starting a project and like I don't start hating it randomly because I might be at the point where I'm not liking it anymore. Yeah. I went ahead and did the straps off camera and put a little white under something. I don't even know what I'm wearing underneath this because I do think it looks better than having the black underneath. That definitely helped a lot. I didn't even add the fringe. I have a bunch of ends to weave in. At this point, I do think I started to enjoy myself just a little bit more, but I don't have any more footage after this, so I know I probably just ate and went to bed. Hello! So I hope you enjoyed that video of me taking one of Fashion Nova's designs and recreating it for my own. If you look at the dresses, they're actually not identical. Mine is a little bit different in the back. It goes a lot lower, like it makes a lot deeper V, and I think it's actually like a lot higher on the Fashion Nova version. Basically, I just wanted to come and close out the video and give you like a last final look of like a proper try on. The only thing that was really missing was the fringe, I believe, but otherwise what you saw, it was basically completed. Let me know what you think about the process and the dress. I believe I actually have a video called how to crochet anything from a photo, something like that. If it's still up on my channel, I'll link it right here. Go check out to see if I followed the tips I gave in this video to make this dress myself. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Leave your questions and comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.